out of the way.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Alright. Oh, fucking. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Happy Veterans Day, everyone. My way of celebrating today is by giving you my very first Call of Duty review. To those wondering why it took me 12 years to give you a COD review, the reasoning is quite simple. 12 years ago was the last year a Call of Duty game was truly worth a damn to me, as in full price. I have played mostly every other game since then, but only after each one went on sale. For me, the golden age of Call of Duty, as I call it, was in the Xbox 360/PS3 era, a special time when Call of Duty was still the peak of military shooters before it went downhill. For the first time ever, we've now had the privilege of trying the first Call of Duty title to hit Game Pass at launch, since Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, hopefully ensuring we may never need to buy another Call of Duty game ever again, be it decent or garbage. I had high hopes for Black Ops 6. When it was first shown earlier this year, I thought it looked incredible. From the new Omni movement fluidity in the multiplayer to the zombie showcase. But then I tried playing the open beta, and my experience with it was not too pleasant.
Better not do the black screen. No fucking black screen of death. Come on. So I can fire, I can move, I just can't see. This is a bug. It's a game-breaking bug, and I fucking quit! Ah! Fuck you! Fuck this game! Fuck Black Ops 6! Fuck Call of Duty!
I did not play the game, for it was the game that played me, that played me, that played me, that played me.
Fucking shit!
We're making a more sophisticated, deeper Call of Duty experience. Variety is the next big thing for us. We're going deep, and we're going hard.
After that horrible time, I didn't know what to expect at launch. It got me very worried about the production and quality, but I was still somewhat optimistic. Now that I've experienced the whole thing for myself and the dust is starting to settle by now, I can say with much confidence that Black Ops 6 is hands down the best in the franchise since that golden era ended with Black Ops 2, both in terms of fun and substance. As usual, you have the 3 different main modes: multiplayer, zombies, and the campaign. Let's review the multiplayer first. Personally, I think this is the weakest of the 3 core modes, primarily because it's not really an improvement over the previous games. You see, when people complain that Call of Duty is the same shit every year, they're typically referring to the multiplayer, and I agree. In retrospect, it's pretty apparent that the intro to Omni movement was Treyarch's biggest commercial selling point to get people hyped. But is it really all that impressive once you actually play it? Not really. This is also something that is in all the game modes, not just multiplayer. I do enjoy that extra new zap and movement though. It feels tight, fluid, and very responsive, and I will admit, can be pretty fun to utilize in multiplayer at times. But I can't help but feel like more often than not, trying to use it at every opportunity, looking all gung-ho, sends me to an earlier grave rather than simply being cautious around each corner, as I have with previous games.
Oh, well.
I'm rolling now.
Whoa!
For match modes, you have your usual ones that are in every other COD, like Team Deathmatch, which is still the go-to favorite, Free-for-all, Domination, Control, Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, all that stuff, as well as hardcore variants of each of those modes. You know, the ones where there's no HUD at all and friendly fire is enabled. If you're craving a more intense experience, definitely head over to Hardcore. Not quite as common is Infected, where you try to avoid getting turned into a zombie until you become one and you try to kill the remaining living players. I'm not going into all these modes that play the same way as everyone remembers from all the other games. That just leaves the one and only new mode, Kill Order. This is basically a deathmatch version of Capture the Flag, where you have to defend your team's high-value target while going after the enemy's one. There are respawns in this mode, so the HVT changes between players after each one is killed. This may not be my favorite game mode, but honestly, I still enjoy it. I think it does a good job of keeping you on your toes as HVT, trying to huddle up with a couple of teammates close by to protect you. Let's talk about the maps now. I'm not too impressed. There is a playlist that lets you play only Nuketown, which is cool, it's classic, it's iconic, fun, everyone still loves it, and it's a staple of the Black Ops series. But I wish it was shuffled in with the default quick play modes, instead of getting eventually tired of playing the same damn map over and over again. Then there are a few maps that I believe are very poorly designed. There's one in particular called Babylon, and I swear to God, is among the worst maps in Call of Duty history. No map this small should be so open. This leads to a ton of players exploiting spawn kills. This one dude got the play of the whole match just by throwing a grenade straight across, killing a few players, including myself, right at the very beginning. There's also a corner spawn point that is easily overlooked by a ledge. What the hell were they thinking here? Speaking of spawn killing, I really don't appreciate having my guy spawn in the middle of a match before it even gives me a chance to choose my loadout. Why can't it spawn me after I make my selection? It's fucking stupid! If you get thrown into a match already in progress, you're almost guaranteed to get helplessly shot and killed before you even see the goddamn screen. So yeah, the multiplayer has a spawning problem. It's so problematic to me that I actually prefer the multiplayer in XDefiant. Another problem I encountered appears to be a bug that sometimes occurs when attaching different components to your gun. Like when I enter the attachments page for my SMG, the optic will always get removed every time I go in, and always gets automatically removed after every match. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Keep the fucking optic on! It does it to the optic reticule too. You know, the way the scope looks, it's super annoying and weird. And why do I need to level up so many other guns to unlock these different optics for this one gun? Unless, of course, that these are scopes that you can use on every gun once you unlock it. But still, why do I have to level up specific guns to do so for each one of these then? I will, however, give huge props to the extensive customization of your loadouts, picking different field upgrades as well as perks of your preference, and if you choose 3 of the same kind, you get a sort of specialty card to help your chances against other players. Most of the time, I find myself using the Spring Mine field upgrade, but lately, I've been trying out the War Cry, and what it does is you rally yourself and nearby players to temporarily increase their movement speed and health regeneration. I think this might dethrone the mine as my favorite new field ability. I still have an overall decent time with the multiplayer. There are a couple maps I do like for their verticality, and hidden underground paths that can lead you behind enemy lines to try to flank them. And there doesn't appear to be any sort of battle pass or pay-to-win crap to get in the way of your enjoyment. There are still microtransactions though, like weapon skins and different characters, and so far, at least, there's nothing too silly, but I have a feeling it won't stay that way for long. I would give the multiplayer portion of Black Ops 6 a 7 out of 10. A little disappointing, but the package only gets better from here. Next up is the Zombies mode. I used to not care for zombies in Black Ops. I always hated how cryptic the objectives were, as well as dying in only 2 consecutive hits, even on the first wave. Black Ops 4 was the first game where we saw a huge overhaul in the zombies formula, where you have a health bar, and you don't get down so damn fast. It was the first time I actually really enjoyed zombies as a mindlessly fun, casual experience. Last year's disaster that was Modern Warfare 3 had an awful zombies mode in which it was just the Warzone map with random recycled missions spread over the open world map. It was mind-bogglingly tedious and repetitive and super buggy, and the difficulty between the zones made it feel artificial and spiked. Skip forward 1 year later, Treyarch brought round-based zombies back, and I could not be any happier with the result. Now look, unless Zombies implements a way for you to get your high-level shit back after you die and respawn on later stages, like maybe letting you backtrack to where you died or something like in Dark Souls, you will always be a burden to the rest of your team as they try to carry you until you get enough money to buy back your favorite weapons. Pack-a-punches aren't cheap either, and they are essential upgrades you need to survive increasingly tougher waves that involve more than just fighting off zombies. This is one of the things that still sucks about zombies. If you bleed out, you're fucked, unless you have enough money on you to recoup for your lost gear and upgrades. With that being said, I don't think I've ever been more hooked to zombies than I am now, exploring the town of Liberty Falls and uncovering the secrets of Terminus, a prison built atop a government laboratory. Black Ops 6 covers everything you would want in zombies. Mysterious character backstories, hidden silly Easter eggs, the ever so addicting gamble of using the mystery box, and more enemy variety like spiders which can hatch out of zombies. Taking a page out of Resident Evil 4 basically. There are also acid-spitting moths and other abominations too, and being able to buy and use score streaks. My personal new favorite thing to do now is to inject a mutation that can temporarily turn me into one of those giant, freakish, super soldier monsters with a hand cannon and blades that cut through waves of zombies like butter. Fuck yeah! This is so badass! Like the zombies in Black Ops Cold War, this one also gives you a chance to exfil every 5 rounds or so, and have you meet up at the rendezvous point and clear the area before the chopper comes and picks you up. This grants you a big XP bonus upon successfully escaping. What really sets this Zombies apart from its predecessors, though, is the ability to save your game in between rounds when playing solo, so you can pick up where you left off later. Don't get any funny ideas though. They did a good job at preventing you from save scumming. You can only keep one save per map, and the save gets deleted immediately after you load into it, and you can only save between rounds, not during. So there's still that Iron Man feeling of risk to it. I'm not sure how well others have been enjoying it, but for me personally, this is the best Zombies yet. I'm gonna go ahead and give this mode a 9 out of 10.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! From out of nowhere!
And now that finally leaves us with the campaign. I'm gonna try to be as short and sweet with this as much as possible, but we all know my track record, so that might not happen. This is the best Call of Duty campaign in years, maybe even since the multiple choice campaign of Black Ops 2. I don't say that because it's the most thrilling, it's not. I mean, there are still plenty of exciting set-piece moments here and there. No, I say it's the best because it's the most non-linear campaign. as well as perhaps the longest and most substantial. This game places a lot of emphasis on stealth, taking things slow and with caution. It almost feels like a spy game, which I fucking love. There are missions here and there where you disguise yourself as a photographer or a reporter. There are a couple missions that let you choose how to progress with different branching objectives, areas that have different points of infiltration, as well as nonchalantly asking around about certain things or finding clues as an undercover. I loved the feeling of being a detective, sleuthing around for answers. That, and of course knocking guards the fuck out and hiding their bodies in storage lockers. Hey, that's not nice. There's also this big open world level that can take anywhere from a half hour to over 2 hours to clear, depending on whether you do all the optional objectives and activities, which do reward you handsomely. Speaking of rewards, this game is overloaded with tons of puzzles to solve. These range from using a black light to decrypt keypad codes and figure out which numbers go in which spot, as well as a number to letter matching word decoders, and matching radio wavelengths to have a transmitter reveal the code to a nearby safe. These puzzles in particular give you a lot of money, about 1,000 each, and you use this money to buy workbench upgrades back at your safe house between mission breaks. You can upgrade all sorts of shit, from faster health regeneration to less flint damage, better aiming control, and much, much more. Considering these upgrades are not only permanent, but also cumulative throughout mission replays, I don't think any other Call of Duty game has encouraged me to play through it a second time on Veteran like this game did, which I still haven't done yet, but I'm thinking about it. And even the safe house is filled with puzzles to solve and secrets to unravel. Exploring this big empty mansion with your allies hanging around made it feel kind of like a survival horror game. Minus the horror, of course. Although there is a mission in the campaign that involves you getting exposed to a bioweapon gas which makes you hallucinate and think you're fighting zombies, and mannequins that chase you when you don't look at them. I'm not taking count, but is that 3 times already that Call of Duty is suddenly copying Resident Evil? Don't get me wrong, I like how they were able to cleverly implement zombies into the campaign this way, but this is starting to get a little excessive. While I loved almost each individual mission structure as a whole, including this one, I found the story itself to be a little unoriginal. You're just a group of rogue CIA agents trying to clear their names while simultaneously trying to stop a domestic terrorist organization from unleashing the biological weapon. Oh, god damn it, now that's 4! Come on! Oh yeah, I thought the last mission kind of sucked too, and the ending left a lot to be desired. I'll just leave it at that. But the rest of the campaign, absolutely incredibly well thought out and put together. It's innovative, it makes you think, it makes you plan, and it's just a damn great time overall. It's like what Resident Evil 6 could have been, apparently. Right, Treyarch? I see you. Evidently trying so hard to make a Resident Evil game now. Before I give my final score, I have some extra closing remarks. I think it's cool that there are different ways to customize the HUD layout on your screen. I also think it's awesome how you can now use guards as human shields, and even pin a grenade on them and cause even more havoc. But I also had some control issues, like getting the weapon wheel to stay up in the campaign. I don't know, maybe one of my bitch-ass cats knocked the controller down and ruined the directional pad, because I can't find anyone else online with this same problem. But then I also had a problem with the dead zone sensitivity. It only became noticeable in the open world level when I tried planting the cursor on each point of interest, and even my guy was slowly rotating without me even touching the controller, so I had to go in the settings and fix the issue myself. More and more I'm finding this to be a problem with console versions of shooters lately. It almost feels like an oversight by developers now while translating to controller from mouse and keyboard. Again, it's easily fixable with tweaking, but it shouldn't be this big of a problem on its default setting. This being a modern Call of Duty game, the file size is fucking massive. So massive that I can't even play it locally on my Xbox Series S, so I had to settle with playing it on my 1TB Xbox One S. Because of this, I not only experienced more bugs and graphical and texture pop-in delays, I also lose the option to play zombies and multiplayer in split-screen co-op, as well as losing theater mode. These are two things that I don't care about whatsoever, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Let's finally end this review to a close. So my final score for the campaign will be a 9 out of 10. I really loved it. So that is 1 7 and 2 9s, which calculates the whole package to an 8.3 out of 10. Which is funny because that's also where its Metascore is currently resting at. But I'm going to go ahead and round it down to an 8 out of 10 just because of those other extra problems and bugs I encountered, as well as the game itself being an online-only live service, which unfortunately does not spare the amazing single-player campaign from possibly going down. And fuck, I hate needing to launch the Call of Duty HQ launcher app to access every new game that comes out. I feel like no matter how great they can still pump out quality Call of Duty games in the future, having this shit be a requirement to run them will always weigh them down. But for now, Black Ops 6 is not only the greatest in the series since Black Ops 2, it's also one of the best, maybe even the best shooter of the year. I highly recommend you at least try it out with Game Pass. You might be surprised as I was. Anyway, I have to go back to the multiplayer to get my ass whooped by a spoiled, foul-mouthed 10-year-old kid from Jersey. So until next time, thank you for watching.
The Gamer Gods!
Wait.